Another thing that also resulted in the downfall was the rise of Disney Toon Studios and the end of the partnership with Pixar. Two things that like Iger, once he was put in charge, he kind of
Yes.
ended.
Yeah, so there was this plan because the friendship between Disney and Pixar during the late 90s, early 2000s was pretty hostile. They had some kind of contract. I think it was like a 5 movie contract where Disney would work in tandem with Pixar to make films for them that were half owned by one another. And Michael Eisner didn't really see the long lasting relationship. He didn't see a long relationship with Pixar. He felt it as another studio, another animation studio that I think he ultimately saw as like a crutch that he wanted to get rid of because the ideas were great, but I think to him it wasn't Pixar that was the success of those movies. It was the fact that he was under the Disney brand that made those movies
Yeah.
what they are. And I don't think he I just don't think he saw the I don't think he saw the magic in the partnership, and so he really didn't treat Pixar very kindly in his later years as president, and it ultimately led to a very hostile friendship between Pixar and Disney, where they continued to essentially treat them unfairly, and it was going to lead to a breakup after their contract ended. And once Bob Iger kind of got in, the first thing he did as president was fix the relationship because he knew that all of the new characters that were admired and loved besides like Stitch potentially in the early 2000s was Woody, Jesse, Buzz Lightyear, Monsters Incorporated. You had Sully and the little green guy,
Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski. Yeah, my point here is that those were the characters that kids loved to see at the moment in the early 2000s. Those were the new beloved characters, and so you could not take those away from that. Bob Iger realized you couldn't take the movies away from the kids. You couldn't take away Pixar. Pixar, as a collaborative group with Disney, could continue to make magic, and he knew that was still possible. And so he reached out to Steve Jobs, and fortunately, they were able to fix that. And to this day, Pixar is still very close with Disney, and that's the story that saved it. But yeah, Michael Eisner did create an animation studio in the early 2000s where he planned, if the relationship should break off after the contract ended, to continue making sequels
Yeah.
to those movies, to Monsters Inc., to Toy Story, to I think Bugs Life.
Bugs Life, yeah.
Bugs Life, sequels to all those films. And the stories themselves are actually not
They're
very
not
bad.
terrible.
They're not terrible. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
actually interesting. Like they feel like a bit fan fiction-y, and they probably were definitely going to be a bit lower quality because Pixar had the computers to do all that they wanted.
Yeah.
But the stories themselves are not bad by any means.
What the most interesting one of those films that never got made was Dumbo 2 to me, because Dumbo 2, if you are unaware, does not exist.
Dumbo
But
2, yes.
but there is a behind the scenes featurette on, I can't remember what Disney movie this was. I think it might have been Brother Bear, of the making of Dumbo 2.
Yes. Though I it's been a long time since I've read on Dumbo 2. Do you have any more details on the matter? 'Cause
No, it is just a single featurette. There's no other information. I guess it just got
Yeah.
scrapped at one point.
I think it was just too bland. They had a lot of ideas in the early 2000s for sequels to their classic films, but I don't remember all the details. I think he made like a friend group of circus animals, and then they went on a big cross-country journey to get back to the circus. They got stranded or something
It
like
sounds
that.
like Madagascar.
Yeah, it probably was. It probably was, honestly. The Michael Eisner's like, I want a Dumbo sequel that's like Madagascar. Get on it.
Hey, they made their own Madagascar with the wild.
Did you hear about the Dopey prequel idea they had? It was
Really?
It's like a Dopey series or a Seven Dwarfs series in the early 2000s, and it was incredibly dark because Michael Eisner knew that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, at its core, besides being, a wholesome family movie, it also can be pretty dark at times, especially concerning the witch. They were going
Brothers
to
Grimm tale, yeah.
open the series on Dopey's mother dying, and that was going to lead to him being totally mute. Like, it was such a traumatic experience for him, his mom dying, that he just refused to speak anymore.
Hmm.
I don't have that many more details on the series because a lot of it is, still in the Disney vaults. But that is one detail that an animator or one of the storytellers talked about in some kind of interview, that was kind of one of the ideas that was floating around, was they were going to play with the idea of the reason why Dopey is mute.
Well, everything needs a backstory. You can't have simple explanation. Not
No,
today.
not
Yeah.
anymore. No, we live in a very complex time. Everything needs to be explained. The audience can't think anything outside of the box.
Okay, we need to know why Han Solo is called Han Solo.
We need to know that he actually didn't shoot first.
Yes.
No, yeah, and we need to know why. We need to know why Luke Skywalker's last name is Skywalker. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
How do you make the Kessel Run?
How-
I need to physically see the Kessel Run.
What is a Moff?
What's a Tarkin? Wait, what's a Grand Moff?
What
Be
is a
honest.
Grand
yeah,
Moff?
what's a Moff, and then what's a Grand Moff?
He even asked that, the actor on set. He was like, "What is a Moff?" And George was like, giving his like, it's a Moff.
It's like poetry.
It's like poetry. It's like
yeah.
it rhymes.
Yeah.
It's bold in its interpretation.